What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for the last segment of the day. It is the post-match fan show where it is your chance to have your say. Link is in the community section if you want to come and join us tonight. Looking forward to speaking to all of you guys tonight and seeing your takes on the game. It makes it 5 in 5, 5 wins on the trot for Tottenham Hotspur and 5 goals in a row, 5 games in a row for Brennan Johnson. So happy days.
Yeah, today, I think, is all about the youth players making their debuts. Lancashire, Mikey Moore, their first starts. Like seeing Bergvall and Gray as well. These teenagers who a lot of people have been talking about, a lot of people have been hyping up, a lot of excitement has been about them. And it's really great to see them tonight living up to that hype. And I thought they were all, in their own way, amazing. And especially Mikey Moore, 17 years of age, starting on the wing. I thought it put in such an exciting performance, such a performance full of energy and full of creativity and dribbling ability. And I'm just so excited to see what they can offer going forward. But, you know, we got the job done as well. We got 3 points away in Europe. Not a difficult place to go, and the fact that we went there, got 3 points, and made sure we got the job done, as well as bedding in all these young players and rotating the squad and giving players rest. I just think it was so much upside to today's game. So absolutely delighted.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. Mikey Moore making his debut for Tottenham, first start for Tottenham, and we loved every second of it. Just before we get into the callers, welcome to the family to Yankee Mojo, Quanktok Tree and Gardening Services, and Ethan Y. All grab their memberships today. If you want to grab yours, the link is in the description below. And a couple of super chats, both from Dark Sun G21. Big up to you, Dark Sun G. And he says, really happy that Moore and Lancashire got the experience playing in a hostile away European ground with smoke. Gray is so versatile that it's great for rotation. And it's a good point, isn't it, that we were talking about this in the build-up to the game, because it really was a hostile atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't even see the pitch
yeah.
for about 10 minutes.
Ferencvaros, their fans were in full voice, weren't they? And it didn't seem to faze Mikey or Will at all.
Yeah, it was the atmosphere away from home against a decent team, and as well bucketing it down with rain, and the weather conditions weren't perfect, and there's smoke everywhere, and there's all these different things going into the game. And to make your first start as a teenager in those conditions is difficult. And also, a lot of fans expecting you to be good, and like a lot of there's a bit of pressure. You're trying to show what you can do, show you're ready at this level. And I think they did that to aplomb. So massive credit to all the teenagers starting tonight.
And the second one says, Johnson, 5 goals were all clutch winners. Coventry and today, coincidentally, both away cup games and European games. 2 openers, Man United and Qarabag. 1 goal that gave us the lead against Brentford. I hope Rishi returns to play in rotation. With Will Lancashire's goal today, with his performance today, he's got a bit of a foul in his hands to get back in the team, Richarlison on the squad.
Yeah, well, with the way Lancashire's going and what he's capable of, Richarlison for sure is going to have to show that he's the senior Premier League striker when he gets his chances, because Lancashire showed he's capable of playing at this level. And it was really unfortunate he didn't get any goals tonight, because he was really close on a few occasions. But again, unlike Moore, I don't think this is his first time he got any minutes in the first team, Lancashire.
Lancashire, yeah.
Yeah, so difficult, at least Moore's been, getting some first team minutes here and there. Lancashire's his first time.
He might have done, because he was hampered by injury at the start of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, but still, exactly, and as well, coming back from injury as well, good point. So really, really happy for him. Had a great season last season. It looks like he's also a really good talent.
All right, well, without further ado, let's get into the first caller. And look who it is. It is my Grandpa Brian. Good to see you back on the fan show. Shana Tova to you. How are you?
Shana Tova, Happy New Year. It makes the New Year even more happy.
Exactly. A nice, sweet New Year, Grandpa, isn't it?
New Year, really great. I think the biggest point is the success that we've now got 2 teams. Everybody's got cover. If we get injuries, we've got at least 1 cover. And I think that's going to make all the difference for the rest of the season. Yeah. That's a really good thing. I thought the best player on the pitch was Porro. I think he was all over the place, continually doing well. Pappy was great. And of course, like you've always been saying, Mickey Moore is outstanding. He's going to be the best player for us over the years. And Johnson, and even Burval, the little time he was there, makes a good stand-in for Madison. I think he'll be great.
Grandpa, you spoke about Mikey Moore there. I want to touch on him because, like you say he's going to be, one of the best Spurs players, especially coming through the academy. A player like Harry Kane, first made his name for Spurs playing in the Europa League. He's got some big boots to fill, but he definitely wasn't overawed by the occasion today, was he, in a hostile atmosphere?
He was amazing, and it was really hostile. I mean, when you looked at the fans, all in their black coats, they really looked like they were ready for a fight.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
And I think that pushed the players to be the same.
Yeah, and I think, go on.
Yeah, I mean, but don't underestimate the fact that we've now got, and has now got together, two teams. We've got cover in every single state, and which is fantastic. We've never had that in my time, really, that we've had two really good teams. Yeah.
Is that a testament to Ange Postecoglou and the scouting team and the recruitment team for how they've rebuilt this squad since Ange has come in?
Absolutely. And I think also, you might not like this, it's also a testimony to Levy, who has allowed him to do it and allowed him to spend the money and to go his own way. And I think that's great. I think the pressure you put on Levy has come out good and has seen the light.
So you're saying we should carry on keeping pressure on him?
No, you don't need to now. He can get some accolades now instead.
And 5 wins in a row now for us in all competitions. I think in the past 4 games, I think 2 goals conceded, albeit we did concede late on today. But, we're really starting to build some momentum now, aren't we? And considering another win today with all these young players in the team as well, it's really only going to help develop the team going forward and have them contribute, so they can get to play Premier League games. So, yeah, do you really feel like this season's finally gotten going?
Yes, and I think in principle, we won at Arsenal.
Exactly. And Brennan as well, 5 goals in 5 games. He took his goal really well, didn't he? And what form he's on.
Oh, I loved him as soon as I saw him. The way he was protecting the line, taking the cross balls was brilliant. Now he's good at shooting and scoring. Great. And the interaction between the, what do they call it, the inverted backs.
Yeah.
The fullbacks. It's constant. No, it's great. Very exciting. And I think all goes well for the rest of the season.
We're going to win something this year, Grandpa?
Yeah, we are. We're definitely going to win something. Or if coming fourth is a win, which it is, I think we're going to come fourth.
I want to see us lifting that trophy. I want to see some silverware in their hands. Are we going to see it?
What about Europa League? Can we win this tournament, Grandpa?
Of course we can. And we've got every chance. And even if we get a couple of injuries, we're covered. That's the big thing.
Absolutely. So it's important to keep pushing that positivity around the fan base. That's what I say.
That's right. And in a world which is so difficult at the moment, it's great to have a positivity in football. Cheers me up, makes me feel good.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, and that's what we like to hear the fans have. And that all comes out with the players because they feel good as well. And that brings the best out in them.
Absolutely.
Are we winning on Sunday? Are we going to be Brighton?
Of course.
Here's a question. Does Mikey Moore start on Sunday for you?
I think, no. I think not yet.
Not yet. You put him on the bench.
Yeah, put him on the bench. Maybe come on in the second half when we're winning too.
And he can get the 3rd goal for us.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so much for coming on, Grandpa. It's great to see you back on the fan show again.
really exciting. Cheers.
Looking
See you
forward to seeing
soon.
you. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Great to see Grandpa back on the fan show. Lovely, lovely words from him.
Some quotes coming out now from Ange. He said on Mikey Moore, I thought he was outstanding. It's brilliant for a 17-year-old to play 90 plus minutes in a European tie. He just handled it superbly. I kind of knew he would, and I think it'll help his growth as a footballer once you get through that sort of experience like that. I think he'll grow and evolve, and I didn't feel like I needed to take him off. He still looked strong, and at the end he was still contributing. So high praise by Ange Postecoglou for Mikey Moore there.
And Mikey deserves every single bit of that praise. I thought he was absolutely brilliant today. Next caller that we're going to get, thank God he's not coming on in his red shirt today. His name is Arian. How are we doing, Arian?
Great, fantastic. And I've got some interesting stats actually for this game because I've been looking while Grandpa's been blessing us with his wisdom. And I've got so I think the main takeaway from this game is obviously great with the youth, fantastic stuff. We saw 4 teenagers play, ended up winning that game relatively easy. I don't think we ever really got out of second gear. And we, take it 2-0 in going into the 90th minute and 2-1 gets a little bit dicey in the last 5 minutes. But this is not an easy place to go to, going away to Ferencvaros. And I have the stats here. The Ferencvaros have not lost in the Europa League at home or any European competition at home since 2021. And some of the teams they've beaten were Fiorentina, home and away. Or sorry, not beaten. These are undefeated. So some of these are wins, some of these are draws. Fiorentina home and away, Genk home and away, Red Star Belgrade at home, Monaco home and away, Trabzonspor from Turkey home, and Leverkusen at home. Do you know the last team that beat Ferencvaros away?
Yeah, it was Olympiacos in the Conference League last season.
So in the group stage, not knockouts.
Oh, group stages.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Who was it?
Ange Postecoglou Celtic.
Was it really?
Only
Yes, it was.
Ange can go away to Hungary and get the points. Come on.
So pretty interesting stuff, and he's brought the goods home today as well. So love to see it. I think it's a fantastic game. I think everybody enjoyed that game.
Arian, talk to me about Mikey Moore because everyone was so excited to see him on the pitch today, and I thought he duly delivered with a fantastic performance. He really proved that he's kind of ready for this level, hasn't he?
I think so. I think of all the teenagers, he was definitely the brightest today. Just didn't look out of place at all. When Madison was saying he needs to pinch himself, he definitely looked older than he looked older than Bergvall, Gray, and Lancashire for me. I think absolutely the experience, the confidence, the composure, just on a different level. You would never guess that he's 17, 16, 18, I forget.
17, yeah.
17, unbelievable. And I think he's the youngest out of them too, isn't he? Which is even more crazy. What just phenomenal performance. And he could have gotten away with a goal or assist today if something's gone different. He had that one strike that he kind of hit on like a half volley that almost went into the bottom corner. And he also had that assist that he who shall not be named missed the 1-on-1 again. So
we'll call that an assist. We'll just call that an assist. He did get an assist today.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anyone else is on the end of that to goal, even Lancashire.
So, do you think the youngsters who we know Gray and Bergvall will be making significant game time in the Premier League anyway, but Lancashire more getting their first starts today? Do you expect to see them now given in the Premier League more game time after tonight's performance?
I think I'd be surprised if I see Lancashire getting too many minutes, especially since Richie looks like he's coming back. I don't think he played poorly. I also don't think I think of all maybe. He had some moments where I'm thinking he could just do better. Like I think he could have definitely walked away with a goal had he done some things differently. But then again, also the first goal was kind of created by him and his chaos. I think Paulo O'Keefe said onto it. He's built like an ox, the kid. So, the physicality he's got and just the kind of way he like bulldozes into the area, it is useful. But I think more though. I think everybody, even the fact that Bergvall and Gray have actually played Premier League minutes and Moore hasn't. I think Moore has made the biggest case for himself. I would be, especially if Sonny's still unavailable, I'd look at Moore. I'd look at him, and Ange said himself in the press conference. They asked him, "Do you think Moore is like still not ready to start a Premier League game?" And he said, "I wouldn't say that." So I wouldn't say that either. Maybe if we still have left wing problems come Sunday, why not?
Well, so if Sonny's not fit, you're definitely going for Timo Moore over Timo. Is that what you're saying?
I would definitely think about it. I would definitely think about it. I feel like that's not on the form to be his spacing more because I think more played better than him today. And he was out of position. He normally plays on the left, and he played on the right, and he still outperformed Timo.
Yeah, I guess we got to talk about Brennan Johnson, man. 5 goals
yeah.
in his last 5
yeah.
games, and he hits the bar, doesn't phase him, goes straight away and kisses the inside of the post to send us on our way 2-0,
Wonderful
which, wonderful finish that proved to be the winning goal.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just see the confidence radiating from him now, can't you?
And he's taking the shots. And as soon as he came on, I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I promise you he's going to score. I'll call him over right now and ask him if I said that. I said,
I believe you, Arian.
I literally was like, you could see it. It's like he's got an aura about him right now. Every time, everything he touches turns to gold because he's shooting. He's shooting. He's got the confidence to be shooting. And a lot of times last season, if he's in that position, a lot of times this game also, some of them like that got blocked and didn't make the target. He's hitting him with his weak foot. He's trying to get them on goal because he has the confidence to go for it. And we can see it. I mean, he's hitting the crossbar with what would have been a fantastic goal had that one gone in. But it didn't matter because he ended up topping it with inch perfect finish because that goal, it wasn't a bad dive. The keeper saw it all the way and just he couldn't get it because it was placed absolutely perfectly. 1 inch to the left, that's out and that's wide. 1 inch. I mean, he's got that spot on.
Yeah, perfect. So Ange in his post-match interview said he said Tottenham's football is evolving, and he said he's seeing evidence of that in the past few games. Do you agree with that? Do you see Tottenham really building some momentum now?
Absolutely, and I've been saying it all season. We look so much more complete, and we're looking more complete every time. Like we have so many avenues. Last season, I think the biggest frustration was that we didn't have that many avenues of attack. And as soon as teams figured out that they could sit a little bit deeper and neutralize Son, who wasn't very physical and he didn't have much about him outside of his brilliant finishing, we really got neutralized pretty easily. But now we have so many different profiles, midfield, attack, defense even. We've got so many different profiles that it's difficult for teams to prepare against us. And like the in-game management from Ange is superb. We've got players like Kulusevski and Bergvall who you don't need to pass to get past you. We got players like Madison who can place an inch perfect pass on the right time. We got Brennan and Son who can find the right finish. We got Solanke and Richarlison who have that hold-up play. I mean, you name it, we've got it. We've got also players who can play across the entire back line. I've seen Spence and Archie Gray play everywhere. We've seen, obviously we all know how brilliant Romero and Mickey Van de Ven are. I mean, you name it, we've got it in this team. And we're evolving in so many different ways. Every time, like, the football is getting so exciting. It's looking, I would say it's starting to get better than the first 10 games of last season. I really would, because last 10 games, we were electric, we were quick, but I don't think we were as dynamic. I really don't think we were as what's up?
No, carry on. I was about to say something, but carry on.
I think we've got more to us than we did in those first 10 games. I think we were brilliant at what we did in those first 10 games, but I think right now we're good at more things than we are in those first 10 games.
I actually completely agree with that, and I think the way that we are playing now is better than the last 10 games. But what I'm hearing from you that maybe a title race in the offing this season. What are you saying?
We're 5 points off the top. That's all I'm saying. That's all. We're only 5 points off the top. Is all I'm saying.
Oh man, it's just so good to see this team finally kind of get the results consistently. 5 wins in the last 5 games, because you saw this was kind of all coming together even in the early parts, in the first few games of the season. We just weren't putting the results away, and now we're finally putting these results away. So it's so important to show this kind of dominance and performance against Brighton, but get the 3 points on the board as well.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I remember I'd come on, I'd be on Twitter, everything, when we wouldn't get a result, and it's not, and it was like, because not the performances. And I said this last time, statistics always win. You play properly, you play well. I know it's a little bit whatever, it's modern and it's a little annoying sometimes, but the XG, the numbers and all that, all the underlying numbers, if they're going to be good enough for a long enough time, the results will come. Like, that is statistics, all right? Anybody who's into any amount of math will tell you that at some point the statistics will always win. They don't lie. And our statistics have been good, and they're coming good, and they're going to come good, and they're going to keep coming good, because we are good. We are good. We are Tottenham Hotspur. We are amazing. We're playing amazing football.
And, Ange is really, I think, managing the squad really well, isn't he? The likes of Van de Ven getting a rest tonight. Solanke only played 10 minutes. Obviously, we got Decky and Madison got a decent rest, although they had to play about 20 minutes tonight. Brennan as well didn't start yet. We still came away with the victory. So what does that tell you about the state of the squad, that we're able to make so many changes yet still come away with 3 points?
Oh, it's brilliant. Ange himself said that he's got he's changed up some stuff in the sports science and the health department staff, and I think it's been showing. I don't think we've had that many injury worries this season, and I think part of that is also just because we have players we can actually rely on. Last season, I think when we were so unfortunate to get that Van de Ven injuries because we couldn't rest him at all. He played every single game until he got hurt. Now we got Dragoshin. Now we can rely on Davies. Even Archie Gray can fill in as center back. We've got players, and Dorrington is still in the squad too. So kind of a shame not to see him today. But we've got so many players that we can actually fill in now, and it's what's kind of be able to hold our momentum. Because how many times have we gotten stifled by an injury crisis? How many times has that happened to us in the last 5 years? A trillion times. And
pretty much every season.
Yeah. Exactly, and if we can avoid that, and it looks like we're on our way to avoiding it this season, knock on wood, my floor is wooden, I got game in it.
It is only 6 or 7 games in, Arian. It's a long way to go.
Exactly. And Richarlison.
It took us 10 games last season. Don't count it out. But if we can keep this going and we can keep managing this guy, because we're not getting full 90s every single minute, and it's always been the problem with Europe, with us specifically, because I remember Nuno tried to play that rotated 11 against Mura in the Conference League or whatever it was, and we lost 1-0. So the rotated sides have never had that level about them, and now it seems like they do, and it's brilliant to see. So we can actually give our first team players. We left Son and Udogie at home. We didn't even bring them, and we still got the result. That's amazing. Some time ago, we'd have to bring on Kane against Colchester and Son against Colchester and still lose the penalty shootout. That's where we've come from. I need people to remember that is where we've come from, and now we're here with 4 teenagers who've played 20 minutes of Premier League football combined starting, and we took a result against the same team that hasn't lost in the group stages at home for 7 games in a row. That is a big deal.
And I was saying this to Sim, I think on the match reaction after the game, that in years gone by, whether it be under Pochettino or whichever manager, or Mourinho, whichever manager it would be, we would play a kind of a much changed team in the Europa League. But the first team players that did play, they thought they were a bit above it. They didn't think they deserved to be in these kind of competitions. How much of a breath of fresh air is it that the likes of Romero, Porro, and these kind of players just put in proper top performances tonight?
It's the mentality thing, and that's what a real mentality is. Not coming into the press conference to say the situation. It's a real mentality change, and the players are playing for the badge. They're not playing for themselves. They're not playing for their wages. They're playing for the coach, and they're playing for the fans, and they're playing for the badge. And you can see it because they don't think they're above anything. You're on that field. It's a privilege to be on that field, and they play like it's a privilege. I mean, Pedro Porro today, man of the match for me. What a performance that was! I'm sure that first 45, he could have walked away with a goal and an assist and a penalty and everything else in between. Just absolutely brilliant stuff from him. And he's the first team player who's been playing every single minute for us, pretty much. Romero as well. He captained us tonight, and everybody is saying, "Oh, his head's in Barcelona. His head's in Real Madrid. He's not in it with us anymore." And I mean, that's nonsense. Head's in Real Madrid, but he's putting a performance like that against Ferencvaros in the Europa League. I mean, seriously. So it's all a bunch of nonsense, all negative stuff that people they just want to paint a negative picture around it. But Ange has instilled a mentality, and these players. I remember Decky when he scored against Chelsea. In that pretty bad game, he did this celebration, and he explained it later. He said the celebration was dedicated to Ange. He said, "Don't listen to the fans. Don't listen. Sorry, the fans on Twitter. Listen to me, my tactics. We got this. It's tunnel vision. Just us, just the squad, and they're showing. It's all tunnel vision. Eyes on the prize, and you can see it. Eyes on the prize. I love it."
Love it. Arian, just as you're speaking there, Porto have gone 3-2 up in the Europa League, turned around a 2-0 deficit from Manchester United, which surely is spelling the end of Ten Hag. But I'll leave you on that happy note. So thank you very much for coming on.
And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on. Big up, Arian.
Is the end of Ten Hag a happy note? Or
well, we kind of probably want Ten Hag to stay in this job for a bit longer.
When do we have him next? If he can stay, if he can just stay up until we have him, and then he can go.
Well, to be fair, I think Man United got Arsenal coming up, so probably it'll be good if they have a manager change.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right about that.
Because he definitely ain't staying on until we play them next. No. That's for sure. Let's go on to our next caller, and he goes by the name Mr. KPV. How you doing, KPV?
Hello, boys. Hello.
Did you have a good birthday?
Of course I did. I went out and couldn't do bowling in the end because some of my mates were busy, unfortunately, so couldn't do it. And couldn't do it this Saturday just gone because the bowling was fully booked. And I asked one of the staff in there if we could book a lane, but they wouldn't let us. So played pool instead, and I won a game, but lost to my other mate. So, and went to KFC, and
what'd you get from KFC? What'd you get from KFC? Need to know
A
this.
Zinger tower meal, mate.
Come
Zinger tower
on,
meal.
that's my order. That's my KFC order.
Not just yours, fella, but and lads, and we beat Man United at Old Trafford because who can't beat us? Oh no, only beat us once with Ajax in the semi-final, man.
And they didn't
And
even beat us because it was a two-legged game, KPV.
yeah, I know. And Big Ange is unbeaten against Seven Hog. Yeah, that's what they call him because he got battered 7-0 by Liverpool 2 seasons
Damn
ago,
right.
mate. And we just need we just need him to stay so we can beat him 10-0, mate.
Kyle, talking about zingers, let's talk about Brennan Johnson's goal. Unbelievable finish today,
Yeah,
right?
man.
5 in 5.
Of course, man. And brilliant. 5 in 5. And can we please talk about Van der Ven's assist first? Unbelievable, mate. And
It's the wrong game, mate. Wrong game, mate. Wrong game.
We played tonight, you know that.
no, I'm just saying, lad. Ben, who was that in the studio then? If it wasn't Sammy, Ash, who was it?
When? Today?
No, 2 Fridays ago. Before my birthday, who was it?
Don't worry about who was in the studio 2 weeks ago. Let's talk about today.
Oh, I know that cheeky. Jesus, calm down.
Are you in bed, KPV? Are you calling from bed?
No, I'm on a sofa, mate.
Okay.
Not a sofa bed. So who's your man of the match tonight, KPV?
Who was it? I'll go with Kuti Romero, captain for the day. Kuti Romero, a World Cup winner, and yeah, like World Cup winner, beat his World Cup teammate last week on Sunday. Brilliant win, but 5 wins out of 5.
Is our name on the trophy this year, KPV?
Europa League, of course it is. And I've got another name for Romero, the Butcher. The Butcher, mate.
Stealing names now.
Yeah, because I know them lot will lose to Porto have got mine there's the Butcher, but nah, mate, we've got a Butcher now. Yeah, we've
And it
got
ain't
a Butcher.
Terry, and it ain't Terry Butcher, but KPV, we got a long list of people coming on, so I want to thank you so much for coming on today. And we got a super chat here for you from Charlie Vale saying, KPV in the house, long may it continue.
Cheers, Charlie. And yeah, bring on Sunday. We're going to win 6 out of 6. And then we've got another big game coming up soon. So long may it continue. And as always, Levy out. Everyone in. Including
Everyone
Dave.
in. Everyone in, including Dave. Not just Daigle in. Daigle's part of a consortium.
He wants everyone as a joint chairman going in at Spurs.
Where was Jacob? He was there, wasn't he? Is he gone?
Who's coming on next? Let's go for Jacob's been waiting, I think. Let's get Jacob on. Here's the super chat from Charlie Bell. If you wanted to see it live in the flesh, KPV in the house. Long may it continue. Thank you very much, Charlie. Just lining up the next guest for you, and here he is, the pump up king himself, hey. Mr. Jacob. How you doing, my friend? United Spurs of America.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Anytime we win is a great time for me. So I'm definitely enjoying myself. Look, it's the same thing that we've talked about before, Ben and Sam. We take these chances, and if we finish them or not is going to be the difference. I thought it was a little bit closer than I liked. I would have liked a little bit more efficiency, but at the end of the day, 2-1 win. We're undefeated in Europe as it stands, which we should be. You look at the competition. I enjoyed y'all's pre-match show. I used it a little bit in my pre-match show because you guys brought some really interesting facts and stuff. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They're the Real Madrid of Hungary, and we beat them today, so they can hold that. I was hungry for a dub, and I'm satiated, but I'll be hungry again this weekend.
We had 4 teenagers starting today, Jacob, for the first time in a match since 2009, which goes to show how rare that is, where you have 4 of them lining up. So obviously, having in that context as well, getting the win is even more impressive, isn't it? And so tell me what you thought of their performances.
Oh, I've been saying Mikey Moore needs to get a start. This guy's the next big thing. Since sliced bread, and honestly, they were fouling him every time he touched the ball that first 25 minutes or so. It just seemed like they were afraid of him. And these are grown men who've been playing for multiple years for their nations, etc. And young Mikey Moore comes on and puts that much fear in them where they can't do anything but grab him. Look, I thought for all intents and purposes, I was very impressed with Mikey Moore. I think right, left, it doesn't matter. He's comfortable wherever you want to play him. And these young kids like Archie Gray, they're all going to want to play. It doesn't matter what position, left back, right back. You want him in the 6. It really, again, it doesn't matter. And I like the confidence of Will Lancashire and Mikey Moore. They know each other well. The link-up play between them two, I was really enjoying that. I would have loved it if Will Lancashire capped off that was it a corner, I think, that ended up leading to him getting a shot, and he kind of got it on the bad side of his foot and still almost went in. I thought that would have been amazing. Mikey Moore shooting from distance. Look, there's a lot to be excited about in regards to these kids, but the only person that I think this is a huge growing moment for, and he wasn't the brightest today, was Lucas Bergvall. He did crash the box, though, on that first goal, and he was creating a little bit of that chaos where it ended up falling to Sarr. So I don't think he had a poor performance by any stretch of the imagination. I just think there was moments where when the rain was really coming down and the crowd was really singing loud in that first half, he looked like he was slipping around, maybe nerves. I don't know. Everyone's playing on the same turf. So as far as the weather goes, I don't really see the excuse. He just seemed a little bit, a little out of his own element. So I think from that standpoint, I wasn't disappointed in him. I'm happy again for him to get his second consecutive start in Europe, and this time actually play. Because last time it was cut short. So again, these kids, they look nice. Archie Gray, I thought he was a little 50-50 in the first half. The second half, I can't see anything he did wrong. I thought he was fantastic in that second half. So overall, Archie Gray was great for me. And I just, again, you speak on starting with these kids and we still get the result. Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray, Will Lancashire, Mikey Moore, like that is a lot of changes to these kids. And we still didn't look like we did versus Coventry. So to me, that just speaks to, first of all, the maturation of these kids. And then secondly, just kind of where they're at in their process. I would love to see them get some more game time. Mikey Moore, if Timo Werner, like, I'm not here to talk about the bads, but Timo Werner robbed Mikey Moore. And that's what makes me the most mad, because Mikey Moore should have an assist to his European campaign name, as far as I'm concerned. And Timo Werner robbed him of that. How beautiful of a run did he make? How beautiful of a pass right in front of him. And what did he do with it? Basically the opposite of what he did with it versus United. Instead of going around the keeper versus United, he went right at him and he lost. And then this week he's like, oh, I'll go around the keeper. And I guess he thought he was a little bit faster than he was. I don't know. But again, I'm not here to talk about the negatives, so to speak, because overall, I thought Timo Werner was still creating a lot of space. His pace and his just being there. I know it's like, oh, you feel the quota as a warm body, so to speak. But in a general sense, like, he does create space for others to navigate. By making those runs, Will Lancashire had more room to operate. Rather than having two defenders, he would have one or one and a half kind of shielded to him. So to me, I still think there's some juice in that lemon. Now, it ain't going to make us lemonade, and we all know that. But for right now, with no Son, no Odegaard, I'm all right with a little bit of lemon juice.
So you're saying that you would keep Timo in the team for Brighton and not,
No.
decide to go with Mikey Moore? Because you're saying Brennan and Solanke are nailed-on starters for the weekend. So who's starting on the left for you?
Mikey Moore, 100%. And it's been Mikey Moore since before the first moment I heard Son was injured. Mikey Moore, that's my starter right there. Brendan Johnson can't be dropped. He's too hot right now. Solanke, it's unfortunate we don't get to say 4 and 4 for Solanke, but I still think that he's been absolutely quality for us. I just like his link up play. He did, the pass to Brendan Johnson's goal wasn't a great pass, but again, it just speaks to us in the final third. I think that I'm really enjoying that. But in regards to answer your question, Timo Werner is absolutely not starting for me. I think 15, 20 minutes off the bench of Timo is probably the best you're going to get of him. 60 to 70 minutes of Timo, you're going to see all the bad stuff that we saw today, some of the good stuff that we saw today. But I don't know if the good is enough to outweigh what I've seen thus far from the bad, because he should have 4 goals to his name as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But obviously, Jacob, the win today makes it 5 wins on the trot now in this season. Albeit these are games obviously we expected to win and all that kind of stuff, but what does this win in terms of keeping that momentum going and building for this season? What does it do for you? How does it make you feel about where the season's going?
I would say honestly, it's been less games, but it's made me more hopeful for the next 5, 6 games because the form that we're in, we've shown that we can sustain that last year. We've shown it now that we can sustain it slightly. And again, I don't like to take away from our wins when you say, "Oh, well, look at the competition." Ferencvaros, did I even know them 2 weeks ago? I wouldn't, but Archie Gray's uncle did, and he beat them in the cup tie in the '60s. So, I just there is some history there. Again, going back to the Real Madrid of Hungary, they can hold that, but. I'm trying to remember the question. I'm so sorry. I got
I'm
distracted with
saying
my
that
own little factoid.
five wins in a row, even though it's a team we should
Yeah.
be winning. Like, what can we learn from this game, and like, how does it feel like building momentum going into the season? How important are these wins, even though they're just Europa League?
He's basically saying, are we on our way to a title?
This is our year.
Well, there's no shame in dreaming, and ain't nobody going to charge you for it either. So go ahead and dream away. I'm still dreaming of the quad. I'll settle for 1. I'll settle for 2. Domestic double. I don't care. But what this shows for me that in regards to momentum is we've won in different ways during this 5-match win streak. Brentford, we didn't possess most of the ball. We didn't shoot the most, but we still won and dominated that game. And then you look at some of these other matches, Karabag, they had a lot of chances. We weren't controlling of the ball. They had a lot of shots, and we still won that game. We
The Real
continue to
Madrid of
win games.
Azerbaijan, by the way.
Correct. I was going to say the city of Azerbaijan, but I'll settle for Madrid of them as well. But, I just think, again, it just speaks to the fact we can win in multiple ways. They say, oh, Angel, he's naive. Yeah, you can hold that too. You're sitting there crying with all the rivals that were on this win streak. And to me, I just think that, Brennan Johnson, man, 5-5, the momentum that he's got, I just think, man, what a beautiful sight to see, because as someone I have on my channel criticized him very harshly. Now, I think everyone agrees unanimously. We don't even got to say it, that the abuse is too far, but criticism of his gameplay, I think, is absolutely fair. And you know what? You apply a little bit of pressure. You know what happens? Eventually, you can make a diamond. Now, do we know he's going to be a diamond yet? I don't know. Will he continue this form? I don't know. Is it a purple patch? I don't know. But what I do know is the young man has confidence. And he's shooting at will, and he's placing that ball where he wants it. And he almost had a goal prior to that, too. That was pretty dang close. So, he looks confident, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I guess this is what Ainge had alluded to last year when he said there's a player in there, and I'm going to get that out of him. And he's getting that from him. And, again, I just think that it speaks to Ainge Postecoglou's man management today in the match, and man management behind closed doors when the cameras aren't on, when they're on the training pitch, when they're in the locker room, etc. The kind of mentality he's instilling in these young men to take the criticism, take all of that on board and prove them wrong, because that's what Ainge has done his whole career. So he's telling Brennan Johnson it's time for you to do that. He told Dominic Solanke, they're even laughing at you for 180 minutes with no goals. And guess what he did? 3-3. So, I just think that Ainge is absolutely working his magic. He's cooking in the kitchen, and when the chef is cooking, I'm going to sit down and smell it. That's all I'm going to
do. Love that. Just last question in terms of the game. Who was your man of the match?
That's tough. My bias is saying Mikey Moore, because I just want this young man out there front and center dancing on everybody. He's just got that dog in him. But I couldn't say he was my man of the match, to be honest. I don't want to say Sarr was my man of the match either, because before the goal, I thought, a couple chances maybe he could have passed it. He kind of shot it when there's a guy right on him. I really, and I think I'm going to get some flack for this, but for me, Bissouma, there were moments in that game where they were crawling back in. They were crawling and crawling back in, and Bissouma, bam, slide tackle, perfect, win the ball. Now he's running with the ball. He didn't just win the ball; he's now running, and he's there was something in Bissouma that was like, I'm going to prove that I should be in the Premier League starting 11. Now, I don't think he was perfect today. I thought he made some mistakes, especially in that first half. But defensively, I thought he was fantastic. Carrying the ball forward, I thought he was fantastic. I saw a lot of really good things from Bissouma, and I like that we have Bissouma and Sarr pushing Bentancur, pushing Kulusevski, pushing Madison. This is what we need. You got to have someone there chomping at the bits, and Bissouma is absolutely chomping at the bits. I mean, you're 26, 27 years old, and you're not starting in the Premier League. He's taking that on board, and he's trying to, give Ainge some reasons why. And I thought defensively, again, he bailed us out of some sticky situations, and he really cleaned it up and really saved us in some moments that I thought, wow. But, Vicario, honorable mention as well. He had some really great saves. The defense, I thought, let him down a few times. My goat, Cuti Romero, you see the shirt in the background. I thought his passing was pretty poor in the first half. Wasn't the greatest in the second half either. Defensively, he was good. So a little bit, I expect more from my captain. But big up Cuti Romero. I wish we kept that clean sheet though.
I actually thought Cuti was really good today, but look, we'll end there. Everyone do go and subscribe to Jacob from United Spurs of America. I believe you're doing a live stream after this, so do you want to tell us about that quickly?
Top of the hour. Yeah, I'll be live top of the hour, just boasting, bragging, dancing, doing as Deji Spurs would say, shaking my bum violently, because you know what? I get another 24 hours to celebrate Tottenham being the greatest team in the whole world. So I'm gonna enjoy it. The Real Madrid of Azerbaijan can hold that, and we'll be talking about it at the top of the hour. Appreciate you boys having me on.
Big up, Jacob. Thanks for coming on, and big up to you for all the pump-up shows you've been doing as well. All right, let's keep it moving, people. Who have we got next? Oh, and he's actually in some Spurs merchandise this time. Bloody hell. Mr. Brian Daigle, how you doing, my friend?
Boys, I'm doing very, very good. Shana Tova to you both.
And to you, brother.
Do you know what? I was so frustrated with myself. I put my membership chat in during the post-game, and then I saw Grandpa come on, and I would have been like, that membership chat would have gone straight to Grandpa. It was great to see him. And Spurs are purring, aren't they?
We are indeed. 5 in 5, 5 wins on the trot, 5 goals in 5 for Mr. Brennan Johnson. But yeah, let's start with Brennan Johnson actually, because I know you specifically has been a big backer of him right from the beginning. You must be feeling a bit of pride at the moment with the way he's playing and putting away these goals.
As I said, he scores when he wants, Brennan Johnson. He scores when he wants. Do you know what? He came on, and that shot that hit the bar 3-4 weeks ago, he ain't even attempting it. The confidence that is flowing through him. And then you look at it, and I was obviously at the yard, and I was with Brian Arian, and I said he's going to get another chance. He's going to get one more chance. Is he going to take it? And that ball moved in such slow motion and then kissed the post. I was like, get in there.
The Titanic music was going on in the background of your head while it was like drifting into the goal.
So much so, Ben. So much so. But also you look at it and it's like that goal proved to be very, very vital. Exceedingly vital with them going to get their goal and the confidence that's flowing through him. And if you remember, I think it was last season, Pedro Porro did that goal celebration. He said it was for the candles on his mum's birthday cake. Well, Brennan Johnson is on fire. Let's just throw it out because, honestly, the confidence that's brimming, it's so good to see. And people can say, oh, it's not against the top 10 team. Oh, it's a tap-in, he scores. Well, that weren't a tap-in. He came on and had to get that second goal. He got it. He scores when he wants. 6 and 6 is coming. And long may it bloody continue.
Well, Brian, we went away in Europe today with 4 teenagers on the pitch and got all 3 points in a tough place to go as well. So tell me what that means for like the state of the team or the state of the squad at the moment that we're able to do that and where the team's heading on that basis.
Do you know what? When I saw that lineup, I thought you go big or you go bold, and Andrew just said, "Why not both, mate?" Because he really, I was surprised with it. I didn't expect to see Moore and Lancashire start. The midfield took care of itself. Defence kind of took care of itself. We'll get onto a certain defender I want to talk about after. But you look at it, and I thought away from home, that is a really big move because obviously that stadium was rocking. Fair play to them for their fans. Non-stop singing. And they did the power of good, and it just went to show he's tweaked it right again. Obviously, people go back to Coventry, multiple changes, but he had a base of that midfield, a base of that defence where they played Vicario at the back. He got it bang on the money again. Bang on the money.
And Brian, how many times have we seen in this competition, the Conference League, change team, the first players that are playing don't really seem to care, seem to be completely below them, or they think it's below them. But you look at the likes of Romero, Porro, Bissouma, all the first choice players today putting in absolute top performances.
100%. It's making a huge difference. I think, as I've said before, I actually think in the past competitions when we've been in the lower European competitions, obviously Europa League and Conference League, I don't think it's been a necessity for the club. I don't think it's been prioritised. And I think Anne just said, "Screw you. This is serious. We are taking this properly." And fair play to him, because like you said, the mentality of the boys going out looked completely different to previous European campaigns in the lesser competitions.
I mean, having said that, if we would have lost today with 4 teenagers, people would have accused them of taking it lightly, wouldn't they?
You're probably right, Simeon. But do you remember when we went to Forest in that Carabao Cup when I first came back to London? I always said, if we'd got up there and played the kids and lost, all right, you've tried something. You've given those kids that deserve the time they need to play and show what they can do. Well, it was there this time to do it. It was a bold move, and it paid off richly for him.
So talking about the youngsters, let's talk about Mikey Moore's first start. Everyone was so excited to see him from the start. From what you saw today, do you reckon, first of all, did it justify, the hype that everyone's been talking about him? And also, do you reckon, he's earned some more minutes in the Premier League off the back of today?
So he was outstanding today. In the first half, which was very stop-starty, I felt, for us. Obviously, at the beginning, they were outplaying us and got the offside goal. But Mikey Moore just looked unfazed. Mikey Moore just looked like, right, I'm here to do a job. I'm in work mode. Let's go. And he looked like one of the most assured players on the pitch for us. His passing, I mean, I've seen him taking on players has been very, very easy for him to do, and he makes it look easy, shall I say. But his weight of passing, his time of passing, there's a couple of times he got a little bit overexcited, but he's a 17-year-old kid learning his trade. But I think he did so well today, and I was delighted to see he had 90 minutes. But when it comes to the Premier League, Sim, I don't know what you two guys feel. I think he's earned more minutes, but I don't think he should start. And it's not because I just don't want us to keep overplaying him and think, here is this 17-year-old kid that's going to bail us out and do everything. I think what he needs to do is Brighton come on in the second half, but with like 25, 30, 35 and phase him in. I just don't want to overdo it with the kid. I think now he has to start in the Europa League games home and away.
Yeah.
Has to start. And look, we did this with Harry Kane, didn't we? Not obviously saying he's going to go on to be Kane, but you can't just go, right, you've had a good game in Europe away, bang, your Premier League ready, especially against Brighton where it's going to be non-stop. But I do 100% believe he needs more than coming on with 10 minutes, 15. He needs a good chunk of time. And I think that's going to slowly build in the Premier League, and he will be forcing his way into a starting 11 by the end of the season.
So when you're looking at it, you got Solanke up top, Brennan on the right, who are nailed on starters for the weekend. Yep. So are you persisting with Timo then on the left if Sonny's not back?
To start, yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's not because I think he deserves it. I just don't want to overdo Mikey Moore. I just don't want to. Listen, if Werner can't do it and Mikey Moore comes on and has a good 25, 30 minutes, let's say, against Brighton, then I think it's unquestionable that he has to replace him. But just to go, right, you played brilliant here, bang, I'm still... And that's, like I said, that's not because I don't believe in Mikey Moore. I absolutely bloody do. I just don't want to rush his progression and get him ready and then set him up to foul.
It's very level-headed of you, Brian. Very level-headed of you.
Mate, I'm trying my best. It's hard to work. It's hard.
And what about Will Lancashire, Brian?
I thought he was great. I mean, the header first of all that came off his shoulder, his movement in the box is very, very good. How close was he with the volley? The volley that just bounced and then just went over. But I really thought he was going to pull the trigger on that wonderful move that was started by the defender I want to talk about, Archie Gray. Then Bissouma striding through, and the ball to Lancashire was great, and he just couldn't get his foot around it in time before the tackle came in. But I think he's shown why he's the one that stayed and the others went out on loan. And especially, I don't know how long he's been fully fit from the hamstring. To be chucked in like that, that's a lot of responsibility and trust that he's been given and shown, and he rewarded the manager with a great performance, I think.
Yeah, and on Archie Gray, obviously started the game at centre-back. I thought he looked a little bit out of his depth at centre-back. Then Ange made the right call and moved him over to left-back in the second half, and he did reap the benefits, didn't he?
I mean, the reason I want to talk about him as well is we bought him as a centre midfielder.
Yeah.
He obviously played all over the place in pre-season. He played right back against Karabag. Now, because of team selection and suspensions and resting Mickey, he's been asked to play centre back. Yeah, it was a bit shaky, but it's a European game. Like I said, that goes for the whole team. There should have been more protection. But I think as soon as he went to left back, he really had a lot to do with some of the great stuff that was coming from playing from the back. He looked unfazed with the little back heels, the tackles, determination. And for a guy that's come in and been asked to play in two positions that aren't his positions, I really think he had a great game. Second half especially, but I think Archie Gray's performance deserves a lot more credit than it's getting.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and I thought second half he looked a lot more comfortable, and he was sort of starting to play his way out of trouble in really different creative ways, wasn't he? So it was really, really encouraging. But Brian, that makes it 5 wins on the trot now for Spurs this season after a difficult start to the season results wise. Do you really feel like the season's finally kind of getting underway?
Well, listen, Ange came under a lot of pressure from large sections of the fan base, whether it was social media or whatever it was. The only way you can change opinion is by winning games, and that's 5 straight wins, no matter who it is. 5 straight wins. I think, Sim, you said the last time we did that was when, 2009 or something?
No, 2021 was the last time we won in.
Oh, well, I went way back. God knows.
2009 was the last time we had 4 teenagers start a game.
Ah, there you go. So I remember the wrong. But it's 5 wins out of 5 in 3 competitions, 6 points out of 6 in Europe. And as Jacob said just before, and I was nodding my head like the Churchill dog, it was literally we have won it in different ways, in different systems, with different players. There's definitely been a change with the fullbacks staying out wider. To say that we had a bench where you could bring Kulusevski, Johnson, and Madison on to see the. It's like, there you go. That's what we've wanted to see, isn't it? That strength on the bench when the first team are out, or being able to game manage and have the big guns on ready to come on should they need. And they did it. I've just got to say one thing about Pedro Porro. You heard of the triple jump, obviously hop, skip, and jump. Did you all see the Pedro Porro dive, nutmeg, and post? That was incredible. I thought it was a dive to begin with, but it looks like he had a little bit of. So you can say dive or fall. There's like, sod this, I'll just get up, nutmeg someone. And then that curler into the post. It was like, oh, if that had gone in. But things are very good at Tottenham on the pitch right now. Ange Postecoglou deserves huge credit. Huge credit. The people that come out and slammed him and slated him, you can't say nothing much with 5 wins in 5 games. You wanted changes. You didn't want the inverted win back. I didn't want the inverted win backs. As a collective, I don't think we did. We've stopped it. Johnson scoring. Solanke's in the England team. Mikey Moore is playing. Lankshire's playing. Archie Gray's having a... Listen, right here, right now, after that Arsenal game and the really poor Coventry result, if you'd said to any Spurs result, right, after that Coventry, you're going to win the next 4 games, you're going to be flying, and all these things would happen, no matter who you are, every single Spurs fan would take it. It's just whether you're going to be open enough and man enough or woman enough to go, do you know what? Fair play to the people that deserve it. And as Postecoglou and the players deserve it, 100%.
Well, just as you're speaking there, Bruno Fernandes has just been sent off again.
Sent off? No way. This one's going to stand, is it?
I don't know. It was a high boot. It was a high boot. It didn't really make any contact. It was a bit of a strange one.
Losing 3-2, Brian.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my God. Bruno Fernandes. Just one more question, Brian.
Yes, brother.
You were talking about, the strength and depth, and it's looking great to be a Spurs fan at the moment. You're giving Ange Postecoglou a lot of credit.
Right.
My grandpa was giving a certain other man a lot of credit on his calling before. I want to know if you want to give him some credit.
If you're talking about the guy that I look like right now, with
I'm not talking about me, Brian. I'm not talking about me.
I'm not putting my glasses on where the likeness is uncanny. Unfortunately, I'm not. Listen, obviously we've seen this stuff with Dan Kilpatrick and things that have come out. Ange has been allowed to do what he's done. Have the windows improved recently? Yes. Are we going in the right direction? Yes. Could we be a lot further down the line? Yes. When the club do right, and I think they've done well, I will credit them. And it looks like Dom Solanke was his man, and they went and got him. So fair play to that. But just because we have had an upturn in 5 games, that isn't even to make me even question it. Not a single chance. Am I? Like I said, you both know, and people that watch this channel or whatever I'm on, I have taken a step back. I'm not going, oh, this is because of him. This is like, if we lose, it's his fault. I'm being more balanced, but no way does my opinion on the man upstairs change because of 5 wins.
Fair play, Brian. Fair play. Thank you for coming on, as always, my
Matt
friend.
Kushner has put in a super chat saying, "True legend, Brian. Big up Ben and Tim and chat."
Big up to
thank
you,
you,
Matty
Matthew.
Kushner.
And we'll speak soon. Have a great evening, everyone.
Everyone do go and subscribe to Tottenham on Tour, people. That is Brian Daigle, the legend himself.
Bit chilly in here. So
Sim's getting a bit chilly as it's time to bring on our next guest. And it's, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Erin? How do you pronounce that? You're on mute, I think, mate.
Think Heron, drop the H.
Erin.
Yeah.
How you doing, Erin?
Yeah, not too bad, boys. Not too bad. Thanks for having me on. First time.
No, first time. Yeah, thanks for coming on. 5 wins in 5. I can see the big smile on your face radiating. Happy days, eh?
Yeah. Look, I think it's great, isn't it? A bit of a rocky end to last season, but I'm all in on Ange. Just the fact we're playing, mate. Like back in the Mourinho days and stuff. Do you know how hard I looked up defensive tactics and off the ball work to try and actually enjoy the game? I'd be sitting there watching it, just like, oh yeah, look, I'm trying to be like a real football nerd about it, like just so I could try and get some enjoyment out of the game. I don't have to do that with Ange. I just get to sit there and watch and enjoy it. Sometimes it's been frustrating when we can't finish chances, but otherwise, and that's going to come, and it is starting to happen now. So yeah, happy days.
Absolutely. And you're really seeing Spurs starting to click into gear now. A few tactical tweaks that Ange has made throughout the season in terms of the fullbacks and Dom Solanke and Brennan Johnson really announcing themselves into the season. So, I mean, what do you think Spurs can actually achieve this season?
For us, I think we need to seriously target Europa and League Cup. They need to be our two, not saying we shouldn't try and win everything we can, just I think they need to be our 2 big ones. Because look, we've got City next, but we are kind of a bogey team to City as well in the League Cup. So, who knows? And with the Europa, I think it's there to be won. There's quite a few good teams in there still. Could cause us a problem, but it's there to be won. And yeah, I'm all for it. I think the Europa's there for us to win this year.
Erin, 4 teenagers starting tonight away in a tough European game, and we were still able to get the win and get the job done and, give certain players a rest. But for you, what does that tell you about where the squad's at, that we're able to do that now? Play 4 teenagers and still win away from home in Europe? For
a start, I think it's a change of mentality, right? We've been a little bit of, over the last sort of 5-6 years, we've not been a great place for young players. We bring them in, maybe the manager doesn't want them, the club does, or whatever, what have you. But we bring them in and nothing ever happens with them. They languish there on the bench when they should be out on loan, or, so I think it's a good sign for a start that we're getting in these young players that we can trust, that are doing well. I mean, Archie Gray, 18 years old, playing out of position. And you know what? I think he did really well. Yeah, a few mistakes, but if he was an 18-year-old centre-back, you wouldn't be complaining. You'd be sitting there going, yeah, he did all right tonight for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
So I think that's fantastic, isn't it? Bergvall, I think maybe for me at the moment, he's trying a little bit too hard to push it to something fantastic. I think he just needs to collect himself a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think that when he got taken off last week against Karabakh might have affected him a little bit?
Maybe it's that, like, I need to prove myself now. I need to really go for it, and it's like that the shot against United, and you're sitting there thinking, there's a couple of passes you could have made there.
Mm.
But yeah, again, he's young. Those things will come with experience, and you could see Anne shouting at the sideline during that. A couple moments tonight where you just think, calm down a little bit, mate.
Play the simple option sometimes.
Yeah. And but no, overall, I think all the young lads did really, really well tonight. I mean, Mikey Moore, Jesus Christ,
What a talent he is, isn't he?
yeah. I mean, we've got gold there.
Would you start him on the weekend ahead of Timo?
Do you know what? I think I agree with Brian. I think I would be a bit more cautious about overplaying him at the moment.
Mm.
Have a little look at what like Pep did with Foden, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've got really good talent there, and we need to nurture it. Don't just push him all in straight from the off, especially because he's played midweek now. Don't then, after the international break, if Timo's still not quite getting in gear and finishing those chances, then maybe we start, and Son's not back, then maybe we start liking him. But I think for now, bring him off the bench, see how he does, get him more minutes, start getting that experience in there. But, we've got Timo on loan for a reason, right? Love or hate him, he's there for a reason. It's because we can't just be sticking Mikey Moore into games immediately twice a week. He's too young.
Yeah, and I was actually saying this in the summer about the Timo Werner signing around about the time that we signed Timo Werner. I felt at that time that bringing in Timo was maybe to create that pathway for Mikey, where not to play him every game, to drip feed him in here and there, get him starts or minutes in the Europa League. Do you feel like that is the reason that we signed Timo on loan?
100%. I completely think it is. It's he's too young to just be sticking him straight in as second choice.
Yeah.
Got Timo on loan, and look as well on Timo. I really do think if that confidence could get there, I think he could be a great second choice for the season.
He needs to drink some of that Brennan Johnson Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he does. I know he never did it at Chelsea, but there is
still won a
player
Champions
in there.
League.
There is a player in there somewhere, and we do see flashes of it.
Yeah.
So I think if he can just get that bit of confidence, maybe just a couple of goals on the bounce, and this was really the couple of games for him to do it. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just being too hopeful.
Never too hopeful as a Spurs fan, Erin. Great first-time caller. Thank you for coming on today, my friend, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers,
Take it easy. Have a good one.
Cheers. Bye-bye. That was Erin, everyone. Look who we have here. Long time we haven't seen this guy.
Well, I spoke to him last week.
You spoke to him last week. Long time since I haven't seen him is we got Ali. Philly Ali. How you doing, Mr. Philly Ali?
Doing good. Glad I caught the match today. Glad the way it turned out. It was definitely an interesting game. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, man. 5 wins in 5 goals for Brennan in 5 games. I mean, I've got a smile radiating from my face at the moment. Not only that, but Mikey Moore got his first start in a Spurs shirt in a competitive game, and he duly delivered, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked promising, and Lancashire at that.
Yeah. So in terms of Mikey Moore, on the back of that performance, are you thinking that he should be seeing a lot more minutes now in a Spurs shirt? Should he be pushing for starts? Or do you agree with maybe Brian and Erin that we need to just be a bit more cautious with him?
No, I think we definitely need to take our time. Mikey Moore especially, what is he, 17? How old is he?
Yeah, 17.
That's incredible. And what about Will Lancashire? How old is he?
19, I believe.
Just so young. Yeah, we got to take our time. I think Ange is doing pretty good, kind of balancing, throwing the kids into the deep end, and letting them, take on the responsibility that we need them to hold in the next couple of years, and balancing that with kind of easing them in and keeping them in a relatively controlled situation. But it's really exciting to see him trust them in a away European game like today. The the atmosphere sounded amazing there. Can you imagine as a 17-year-old playing at the biggest team in Hungary? I mean, you never been there, never even thought about the team, but the atmosphere was crazy. I mean, that's a great learning experience for them. I'm definitely excited to see them grow because every kind of minute of playing time at this level, you just expect them to grow exponentially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the fact that we're able to do that now, away in a tough European game and start 4 teenagers from the start and still come away with a victory. What does that tell you about, the what Ange is building here and the direction we're heading in?
Yeah, I feel a lot better than last time I spoke with you. I think I was talking trash on our squad depth, Sam, last time we talked. So it's definitely feeling better that we got players stepping up. I think it was awesome to watch Porro today because I could tell, players like Kuti and Basuma, they kind of like are our foundation, kind of starting from the back. And you could really tell that those two were looking to find Porro regularly because Porro was all over the place. I mean, that play that Daigle was talking about, the dive Meg post, he was just gliding. I mean, it was crazy what he was doing, just effortlessly going through the opposition. It was great watching Porro kind of take that responsibility because we need more players to do that. And in a game like today, we had 7, 8 changes from what we fielded in the Premiership game on the weekend. So compare today's performance to like the Coventry performance, and it's just nice to see everybody, I think, stepping up and playing better.
Yeah, and you're really starting to see like Ange Postecoglou get his style of play properly imprinted in. I mean, we saw it from the beginning, but it seems to be evolving and evolving and evolving by each game, to be honest. And with the strength in depth, with the style of play evolving, with the tactical flexibility that he's showing in certain occasions, I mean, we look like we're really on for a big season, aren't we?
Yeah. Who knows? It's funny how quickly things change in football. He might just be crazy as a fox. I think a lot of people were kind of looking at him after we were dropping points. Like, why are you saying you get a trophy every second season? Like, why are you stepping out so strong? It's for us as Spurs fans, it's craziness to like take that leap of faith in front of the media, because I think Spurs is probably the hardest club to manage, one of the hardest clubs to play for in the world. We're playing in the EPL. We have a history, 100 million supporters worldwide, huge expectations. But at the same time, every player that steps in has to take on 16-year trophy drought on their back. Every manager has to face that every day, so that when luck doesn't go our way, it's not just like one bad day at the office. It's 16 years they're staring down the gun of. And then on top of that, we are a London-based club where there's 3 clubs that want to beat us in the EPL more than any other team that they play. Like, who else has like 3 rivals? That's 6 games per season that West Ham, Chelsea, and Arsenal would do anything to beat us. And we just know, like our especially like Chelsea, Arsenal, we just know our record against them. It's I don't know. So I think I want to compare today's performance to Coventry. I think it was a much better performance, but the result wasn't that different. Like, I don't think the result was too far away from kind of the Spurs of old. And I think that Ange is putting this idea that we need to dominate games from the beginning to the end, which is a big shift from Conte, big shift from Mourinho. And I just think the fans need to be ready for those strokes of bad luck. I think the fans need to step up and figure out a way as supporters that we can change our mentality as the rest of the club is changing our mentality. Like, we need to dominate every lesser team. Honestly, my expectation is we don't pick up any points for like the top 5 clubs. Unfortunately, that's where I'm coming into the season at. But that means the 12 bottom clubs, we got to get 6 points from each opponent this season. That's the way I'm coming from. So that Leicester dropping 2 points, that took us from 72 points down to 70 for the season. So, but yeah, I'm interested in like how the supporters can kind of keep up with that Ange mentality.
Philly, I'm going to disagree with you there because we're going to the Emirates this year and we're taking all 3 points. I'm just telling you that now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no question. And the way the shit football that they're playing over there, and God, the way they talk like they're a gift from God. I don't know. I cannot wait. I hope we get them in the cup. That's what I hope.
Let's hope so,
I
man.
hope we play them at the Lane in the cup, but I want to knock them out. I want to play them again so bad because they scummed that 1-0 lead or that 1-0 win like prime Mourinho, man. They scummed it, man. And we were, oh man, if our attack was clicking like it is now, it'd be a whole different game.
Philly, who was your man of the match tonight?
Definitely Porro, I would say, and honorable mention to Brennan. 5-5 is amazing. 5-5 is amazing. But real quick, before you let me go, I want to go back to the idea of like changing mentality as a supporter base. So I came to be a Spurs supporter in university, so I was pretty late in my life compared to you guys. But in the United States, there's a lot of other sports teams that I support. And the closest thing to the North London rivalry that I'm familiar with is the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry in college football.
Okay.
And there is a deep hatred of Michigan. And I want to share a story just to get the juices flowing as far as like creative ideas as supporters to do more for the club. Before the Michigan game, Ohio State students, and this is the dead of winter, this is November, December in Ohio, we're talking, close to freezing temperatures. What they do the week leading up to the game against Michigan is they go down to a lake on campus and they dive in the lake in the middle of freezing winter. And the reason they do it is they awaken the ghost of Woody Hayes, which is one of the most successful managers, the most successful coaches in our history. And this man hated Michigan. He hated Michigan so bad. One year that he murdered them. They were killing Michigan. And at the end of the game, he went for an extra 2 points when normally the team would just go for an extra 1 point. And the reporters asked him, like, Woody, what the hell? Like, why would you go for 2? You guys had it wrapped up. Like, what? That was just kind of a weird play. He said, the reason I went for 2 is because I couldn't go for 3. Like, he hated Michigan so bad that he wanted to just rub their face in the dirt. So the students go down. In some years, they are breaking the ice on this pond in the middle of the campus to dive in, okay, to awaken this deep hatred of Michigan, to get on the same level as the players, to get on the same level of the history of the rivalry. Now, I don't think we should, necessarily risk pneumonia or anything like that as a wide base fan base here. But we need to come face to face with the curse that we have at Stamford Bridge and the curse that we have around the way with the arse. We need to come face to face with that. And because right now, I think this season, we need to dominate lesser teams. I think that's the stage we're in right now. I'm not expecting too many huge, wins against the big clubs. But in the next couple of years, we have to face those curses. And we have to find a way to overcome that stuff. So I wanted to share that because I've been trying to think about ways to kind of like, share my own sporting experience. While it's not in football, it's not in the EPL for the first 18 years of my life. that rivalry speaks to me about kind of where Spurs supporters need to go from here.
Well, I think, Philly, I think you've inspired us because we're going to do a live stream now in January.
Yeah.
We next play Arsenal in January, I think the 14th of January on a Tuesday night. On the Monday night, I think we should find a lake in North London. We'll do a live stream. Everyone's welcome to join us. We'll all jump in there and we'll awaken the ghost of Sir Bill Nicholson. I think that's what we'll do.
That's what I'm talking about. And it doesn't have to be a lake. It can be a fountain. You know what I'm saying?
Can you not be awoken by some kind of sunny country? By the sea.
It's got to be true to Spain. It's got to be true to our history. I'm not saying that's a perfect equation for us, but just something to dig a little bit deeper and try to go that extra mile for the squad.
Philly Ali, unbelievable call. Thank you so much for coming on today, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Good talking to you guys. Much
Always.
love. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Big up to Philly Ali. And is that we got one more? We got one more by the name of Donovan.
Big up, Donovan.
How you doing, Donovan? I think you're on mute.
How's that?
Yes,
Yeah,
Donovan.
better.
How are you, brother?
Big up. Yeah, I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for waiting. I had to run to work quickly.
Talk to me about the win today. 2-1, hard-fought victory away to the Hungarian champions. 4 teenagers in the team. How happy are you with that win?
Yeah, the Ants train keeps rolling. I'm not going to lie. It was a bit... I was really discouraged after the Arsenal result, but questions were asked and people rose to the occasion. Brendan Johnson keeps his fine shooting boots going. The way I look at it, guys, is like if Brendan Johnson can turn it around, then Timo Werner's got like no excuse kind of going forward. Like he's got to just tap in, maybe delete his Instagram account, who knows. but all seriousness though, it was like I thought Bill Lancashire had his hands full. Like that was such a physical battle for Will. Like you could tell that these senior pros didn't want to have the best of them by some teenage academy, right? Some guy from the academy come out, almost like take the piss out of him, right? Playing at their home stadium. So they really bullied the guy. And it was good to see that. It was a good experience for him. And he almost came out top, a flash header that just went over the bar, and that half volley that just bounced off the ground, went top corner. Mikey Moore looked good out there. I thought Bergvall, like Savinha or whatever, that Brazilian guy.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes in, they got into each other's like an altercation, whereas Savinha was like throwing elbows and stuff and kind of just like spooked him a little bit. And then after that, like I don't think Bergvall really kind of was the same, but he's young. He's got tons of time to kind of get used to that kind of level of aggression. But it was positive. 3 points. That's all we can really say, eh?
Yeah, and in years gone by, there'll be tough European games where we've made changes and we end up losing games, even with more experienced players on the pitch. In these kind of scenarios. And today, starting 4 teenagers in a tough European game, what does it say to you about what Andrew's building and the state of the squad at the moment, that we're able to play 4 teenagers in a tough away game and come away with 3 points?
Yeah, I think you touched on it earlier there. I'm saying that. Like before, you'd have players coming in off the bench where it was quite labeled A and B squad, and maybe that hurt their ego, maybe it hurt their confidence, but they felt that they're above that. Maybe it just transcended that they didn't believe what the manager's even saying at the beginning. So when you get kind of demoted at the end, that's just like a double whammy. But now you get players like that are fighting for their bit. They're fighting for their Tottenham career. That will only raise the level of the people that are in the squad and are there watching that, because if they're holding them to a high accountability, their standards can't drop. And I'm not saying that Romero or Pedro Porro or Timo Werner or Vicario would drop their standards, but now that they have these young guns behind them firing, going on all cylinders, it's just infectious. And we saw that today, because that was a very good crowd. Like that was they were behind their team. They, even when they were 2-0 down, they were still going for it. The aggression was there. And like you said, sometimes in the past, these players would cower and hide it. And that wasn't the case today. And Sorry.
Yeah, you talk about the A team and the B team of yesteryear under the Mourinhos and stuff like that, but there's more of a sense of everyone's in it together now, isn't it? Because the first European game, Doggy and Van der Ven start, and the second one, you've got Romero and Porro starting, where each get a rest. So it really is good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, and you take a look at that bench. Like, I didn't realize how strong the bench was. You had the likes of Bentancur, Kulusevski, Madison coming off that bench, Dominic Solanke, and if Son was fit, you would have had Son off that bench. Like, there's no need to be critical or anything, but I just don't understand why Jed Spence isn't in the squad. Like, I was looking at that game, and if I were to nitpick, it was really frustrating to see it. Like, don't get me wrong, the guy played his socks off and he left his heart on the pitch. Proper Spurs performance. But when Archie Gray's pushing up in the last 10, 20 minutes of that game, inverting like Ange wants him to, and playing high up the pitch, just to see him knackered out running back, it's like those are the games where Jed Spence could be unleashed onto that squad, onto that pitch, and really make an impact, because he started with like a barn on fire in preseason. He came on, did a positive impact against Manchester United, and the fact that we're not even starting Fraser Forster in a game like this, like, it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, yeah.
Did you not see his performance at Coventry?
Forster, yeah, it was. We can blame it on rustiness, but I don't know that heroic night against Barcelona for Celtic was a long time ago, lads. So I don't think that Fraser Forster's around anymore. So yeah, but no, it was a good night, and main thing is we're still undefeated in 5. If we get Brighton and go into the international break, I think the momentum's starting to go up now. So.
Yeah, and as you say, Brennan Johnson made it 5-5, and he just looks like a man full of confidence at the moment, doesn't he? And when he's in this kind of form, like, how high is his ceiling, do you think?
I was talking to Jack from the Irish Hotspur the other day, and we had this conversation of the main thing with their squad, and not just Brennan Johnson, is that since Ange has built such a young squad, and he's so focused on keeping the blinders on and just like worrying about what's going on in-house, that I don't even think Brennan or even Mickey or like any of these players really know what their ceiling is. And I think Ange is instilling that belief in the media. The way he talks in his interviews is that, we're not going for like top 4. We're not going for this. Winning a trophy isn't that important. We're trying to instill this mindset of it's our way of playing. And that just translates to the pitch. And who knows, man, because I don't think Brennan Johnson realizes how good he can get. I don't think Tottenham Hotspur as a club and as a Theos understand how high this can go. So it's exciting times, man. It's really exciting because like our best player, Kulusevski, he's only 23. And it's like he still hasn't even matured fully yet. And he's playing like one of the best players in the league. So it's really exciting. Brennan Johnson, he's already equaled his goal tally from last year. It's just levels.
It really is. Then the levels keep rising and keep rising here at Tottenham Hotspur. But Donovan, who was your man in the match today?
I think you just mentioned Pedro Porro. I think that's what you said there, Ben. I'm thinking back to it, and just off the top of my head, I think it has to be Christian Romero. A bit of a shaky start at the beginning, but he recovered quite well. Just that sense of leadership and presence, watching him in the coin toss, watching him with the mind games right off the beginning, like, hey, I want that side of the pitch. You guys come over here. I want to switch my team over there, just leading with a solid World Cup presence. And that just translates onto the pitch. People around him radiate that energy, and he's just himself too. Another player who's approaching his peak. That he's only becoming more and more level-headed, and it seems like the Romero of the Champions League that got himself sent off in that crazy challenge against Theo Hernandez is it's almost like black and white. It's almost a person of the past. You don't even recognize that player anymore. So for me, it's got to be Romero. He's just QT, man.
Yeah, and looking forward to the Brighton game. In the front 3 that you're going to play, does Mikey Moore have a chance to take Timo's spot on the left if Son isn't injured?
No. I think I think Timo is going to start. Personally, I would keep bleeding Mikey into the squad and then put him in against like an Ipswich or like next time we play Everton or something. Brighton are still an attacking side. They're still a quality side. And he's one of those players that can come and run at tired legs and take advantage of his technical ability when the game's not in the balance and when the game is when there's more spaces in behind for us to catch them out. That being said, his decision making is still good. Like making that pass to Timo Werner, right? Making an impact, being the most foul player on the pitch, constantly taking his man on and riding those challenges, because not just Will Lancashire was getting manhandled and bullied. They really targeted Mikey Moore too, like going for the knees, going for the ankles, chopping this kid down because they don't want some academy product making him look bad. And that's going to be the mentality kind of going forward. There's a star kid from Tottenham. Let's kind of knock him down a few pegs. So we won't wrap him in cotton wool, but we definitely have to bleed him in so to keep his confidence at a decent level. So,
are we winning this weekend? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't see us. Now that we're confident Tottenham fans, you know how the world works. But yeah, I don't see us really having a problem until we play City on the 30th, and that'll be a good challenge. And hopefully, anything can happen. We just want to keep winning and building that momentum, because lads, it's going to be like running into a brick wall at that point, because like whatever we have to throw at City, because that's going to be a huge game.
Donovan, thank you so much for coming on today, my friend. Have a good night.
Good to see you, Donovan.
Cheers, lads. Up the Spurs.
Up the Spurs. Come on. Super chat from Dark Sun G saying, Gray and Saar played for us and the badge, while Winks and Dyer played for a spot in the England. This shows how great we shipped out our deadwood and players with weak mentalities. Do you agree with that?
I think it's harsh on Winks and Dyer. I think they both were committed to the club and gave their all, but I definitely think Gray and Saar have probably higher ceilings for sure, and that definitely makes me excited.
Just to close off, talking about the rest of the games that happened tonight, Man United ended up drawing 3-3.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire against a 10-man Man United drew level. That makes it Spurs are one of 5 clubs that got 100% record so far in the Europa League. So we are third. Lazio and Lyon are ahead of us on goal difference. They've got +5, +6. We've got +4. FCSB and Anderlecht are the other teams that won tonight.
Interesting, Elfsborg, one of the teams we're facing, beat Roma tonight.
Another team that we're facing.
Yeah, so it's like, should we be worried about Elfsborg, and then should we not be worried about Roma? So one of the two.
We shouldn't be worried about either of them. We're going to go and batter both of them.
Both of them at home, right?
Elfsborg and Roma both. Elfsborg, Roma, and Alkmaar are at home. And then we got Galatasaray and Hoffenheim away.
And Lyon went to the Ibrox.
And Rangers.
Lyon went to Ibrox today and won 4-1.
4-1?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big scoreline.
And RZ, as you say, RZ lost 2-0 away at Athletic Bilbao. Hoffenheim beat Kiev at home 2-0. So some mixed results tonight for our opponents.
Yeah, so I mean, you say you expect us to get a win in the next game against Alkmaar at home. I mean, that's got to be a win, right? 3 points. If we do go and win that game, 3 out of 3, surely that's done. I mean,
I don't
definitely in the top 24.
Yeah, I don't see these 12. Is it 12 there? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't see the 12 of these teams who are currently on 1 point reaching 9. So, yeah, you have to hope more than 25 teams reach 9 points, which I don't think is going to happen. So,
I wonder how many points it would be. What is the threshold to finish in the top 8?
They're saying around 14, 15, like you should be guaranteed. Like, there's obviously, we don't really know, but they're saying 15, and like you'd be super unlucky with 15 not to.
We are a super unlucky team.
Yeah, you never know. But I would say 15, you should be okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. We'll be back tomorrow for a double session. We've got a live stream for the match review for today, And then we'll be looking ahead to the Brighton game a bit later on in the day. So I want to thank you all for sticking with us throughout the day. And Spurs have won again in Europe. Big up to the kids, to the teenagers that played today and played their socks off for the lads, for the shirt. And hopefully we'll get to see them a lot more in the coming weeks. But we'll see you all later. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you